one. What's up, Alpha? It's your boy, Fly Alpha. The mate, looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy. Christ. And it's Thursday. It's Man Cave.
It gets worse every week.
Oh, we got a serious topic today. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna try to break down this topic a little bit. So we're gonna talk about it. Colorism. How does it affect us? How does it affect the people around us? And we're gonna put a little thought into it. I'm a disclaimer. We limited in knowledge. But
no one majored in critical race theory.
Most people don't even know what it is. So we're gonna try to break down literally what colorism is. Colorism is when one person or race feels superior or inferior to another color of the similar race, which is mostly due to African American thing. That when you talk to hate yourself or feel like you're better because you're closer to apparently the white race, you're closer to that, so they say you feel superior, or the darker skin feel inferior because society has told them you are not beautiful, you are not gorgeous, the way you look, the way you handle yourself. So many people have started bleaching skin, doing all those other type of things to look of a lighter, more acceptable American complexion.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, it also is done in South Korea. For the people that don't know, it's literally why you see a lot of makeup or lighter skin tones to separate themselves and look more like the people they see representing as stars or something like that. So we're gonna start out. What are your thoughts on colorism? How has it affected you? How you seen it affect someone else? We're gonna start with Monte.
If you don't mind, I got this.
Oh, Joe,
I got this display here. So this is Rocky Maivia. And this is Ken Shamrock. And furthermore, this is Frieza, and this is Prince Vegeta, Prince of No One. So with that being said, my theory is that this is Goku. Does that make sense to y'all?
No.
Okay.
Joe, all right, I'll tell you.
Let's go.
Wasting time.
You had me. And then Goku got added in, and I was like, I missed the plot when Goku came in. I'm not gonna lie.
And this is
I was with you up until you.
And
Monte, help.
Okay. The anime tone just fried my brain for a second. So we're on colorism, and colorism does run rampant. It's basically when you, if you trying to differentiate between different skin tones of the same race. And we sort of had, an episode of that with the whole Fresh and Fit thing. We just went through that. They was calling, a lot of black women, different, I guess ghetto was a bit different ghetto terms and different things like that, which that's just one example. But colorism, I guess the best example I could think of is when a lot of people just generally would think of light-skinned women as just being the most beautiful and think of darker-skinned women as just automatically not attractive. When that used to run rampant all over, people's mindsets and things of that nature. And I don't quite understand it, because I'm just like, just because a light-skinned woman may be attractive, there's some dark-skinned women out here that are beautiful. And those mindsets of trying to split between the minute differences of our own race, that's gotta stop, man. And it is some dudes out here. Please do not be one of these men that just automatically think, a dark-skinned girl just is not fine. Please don't think that. Please, for the love of God, please no. Please no. Please don't do this to yourself. Because there's some dark chocolate women out. Oh, bless the Lord. But
preach, Brother Monroe.
I mean, it is, but the only thing about it is I don't want that mindset, because us as black people, we have enough to try to deal with in ourselves, and just the full amount of racism or anything that we go through on a daily basis. I hate the idea of trying to add colorism into that. Like, okay, because there in the red pill community. That also is somewhat of a prevalent thing just among women, because there are some more people that think just like Fresh and Fit, and some of those people would just be like, oh, black girls are just like this, or like any girl that's not light skinned or mixed, no, they just gonna be like this, they act like this. Like, no, you can't put them stereotypes of those kind of people. And so when it comes to colorism, man, work out the stereotypes, stop dribbling stereotypes of different races, of different kinds of people. Work on that mindset first, because otherwise you can go from colorism, you can go to racism, then you can go to even worse spots where you're just gonna automatically just be biased against probably or possibly even genders altogether. So please don't do it to yourself. That's how I started.
Yeah. And to Monte's point, we're gonna go to Joe and then Corey. We saw with Kodak Black. Kodak Black said he doesn't want a dark-skinned girl simply because he don't want no dark-skinned baby. Which has come to which I want to break down. I want to think about it, and then we're gonna go on to Joe. Which means a lot of time when you're in school, if you're a dark-skinned dude, people will make fun of you. Mm-hmm. I had we had a guy, they called him Blackie.
How creative.
Yes.
Was he
in the Mississippi? My cousin up the road name is Blue Boy. So Blackie.
So he's dark.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically, so you get nicknames, you get all that stuff. Yeah. And for some people, it could say the reason he don't want a dark skinned kid is simply because he felt like he was unattractive due to the color of his skin. Which I think we do gotta talk about that. That's what this show is for. You gotta talk about, you gotta express, cause that affect men too. The nicknames, the feeling of unattractiveness. I don't want my son to get nicknames that I got, even if we think it's all jokes. Which it could be. It's just jokes. One of my friends wasn't really affected by it, but the other one you might see when they hit 30. Because you don't see it when you're 18. You know what I mean? You don't see it when you're 17. But when you hit 30, you start seeing tendencies. You're like, okay. Okay, maybe we scarred you a little bit. Maybe your personal belief became scarred because a feeling that was created by a constant set of jokes. A constant talking about. A constant thing. Maybe a confidence thing has happened. Maybe you're afraid to speak to opposite gender in a certain way because you felt unattractive because of a joke or a certain thing, which you should be able to take a joke, but I'm just talking about the constant reminder of your nickname actually being related to your color or something like that. That could affect you, that makes you, okay, in my mind now, mentally, I don't want a dark-skinned woman simply because I don't want my child to end up dark-skinned.
Complexes are real, people.
Yeah, and it does do that. Because like I said, you don't realize it at 17, but when you hit 30, you start seeing how people talk. But okay, you might have built up. So, Uniqo, your thoughts?
Man, they're trying to make me and I can't be a colorist. I have a white dog.
That's racism, sir.
Oh shit. I
can't be colorist. I got black dad.
So going back to my Super Saiyan 4 analogy. No, like real talk, man. You know, you can have a preference, I think. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta give a special shout out to somebody very special, Keisha from Belly. Oh,
she's a super sexy dark-skinned girl.
Absolutely, man. I think you can be beautiful no matter what your color is. You know, and I hate that, you know, y'all made a good point about how we already segregated from race, and then it's like different colors of black people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we gotta chill out on that. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. There's girls out there like Nunu. Oh, we love Nunu, don't we?
Yeah, shout out Nunu.
We love ATL. We love Hillary Banks. We love Beyonce. Well, we like Meg Thee Stallion.
I thought you said Hillary Clinton for a second. I was like, she's a weird ass throw in there.
We like Kelly Rowland.
Gorgeous. When we can remember her.
Absolutely. So they get a little pass, and I think it's only because like they're mixed with other like races, if you will. The lighter skin variety, there typically are somewhat mixed, if that makes sense. But you know, it is what it is. But that's my thoughts on colorism. I like all them girls. I don't care what color they is. I like Rihanna. Who else?
Oh, my heart.
Hold on, and you know we about to talk about this on one of our other shows, but I like both Aunt Vivs. So,
oh,
Really?
oh, Rihanna, my heart.
Can I say I like the new one too?
we liked all
Hey,
three.
the new one kind of slapping.
Man,
You know, we didn't think about Tori.
we owe it to him. I said she owe it to me too.
Let's talk to our resident mixed kid who
A resident
probably deal with more
colorist.
Probably deal with more racism than colorism, but
You'd be surprised. On the topic of colorism, as a light-skinned person who grew up around a lot of dark-skinned people, it can go both ways, believe it or not. Because I can look back on my life and think of many a times that I got to punch somebody just because they're like, oh, it's the light-skinned kid. He ain't gonna do nothing. And then we travel from there. Now, as you get older, that shifts more from the playground stuff to like the wiles of high school. You guys, I mean, that's how life gets. The same people you grew up with, and you see how when it started, you were treated a certain way. And then when you're with the same people in different arenas, you see how the picture at large changes and where the advantage comes in. Because and don't get it twisted, America, there's an advantage to being lighter skinned, whether you believe it or not. You just don't know it because you haven't ever really had to think about it. But the advantages didn't come in for me until I was out into the greater world at large. It's one thing when you're in your neighborhood and there's only a few light-skinned kids and you're the only one in this complex that's mom's not black, and that can lean into a whole other, you know how many people I've punched because my mother's white, which is crazy to say, but the complete and total truth. But it's not until you get into the actual main arena of life, so to speak, to where you start to see the differences. And a lot of the times the roles can change and you don't even realize it. You go from being the one picked on to being the one picking on others. And whether or not that may seem like a childish thing, we can still see it at work in the world at large today. So whether you want to talk about CEOs of companies as opposed to board members, you want to talk about partners in law firms, you want to talk about there's a plethora of many different things in everyday life that, believe it or not, colorism is entangled to in one shape or form. But I believe acknowledging it is half the battle. So if you can see it happening, you can avoid it, which means you can help the world at large. People just be cognizant. That's all I'm saying.
Shout out to the AKAs.
I want to ask a question. I want to ask a deep question. Let's ask this. Let's go here. Let's have a little fun with y'all. Monte, do you mind if your kid is dark skinned? Would it bother you? Good. All right, everybody, y'all see Monte. Joe.
I'm not gonna mind anything about my child.
Tori.
I mean, heck, I'm picking the mama, so I can't worry. I'm gonna have a certain degree of control at the end of the day, anyway. So I mean, I can't really.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Would it be a problem though? That's what I'm.
Well, no. Well, I'm gonna say it too like this. I was probably a problem when I was born. I mean, it wasn't exactly. We weren't exactly in the friendliest of times. So I mean. But I don't care in the end. I'm out here trying to make cool genetic looking kids. So shout out to everybody's different race that's trying to commingle. I'm with it.
Yeah, I just want to ask that question because we've seen it. It's like a serious topic. I want to break down why people believe it. So I'm trying to figure out why. Why do we think about these things? Why do you think it's pronounced in our culture?
You want
I
the
mean,
serious
like,
answer that sounds funny?
I mean, like that sort of thing, it'd be pushed a lot. Like, even if you think to a lot of the media that we see, a lot of times, things like commercials, music videos, things like that, they push more towards lighter skin and more attractive women just in general a lot of times. Especially when we were growing up, we used to see that all the time.
Yeah. Except for until Michael Jordan came through.
Yeah, like a lot of the shows we used to grow up on, a lot of them always like try to tend to have lighter skinned women up in there. Even like you mentioned, even in college, the stereotypes around certain fraternities and sororities even have like, you know, different stereotypes like that, like in different color schemes of African American women or like black. They all have them in there a lot of times, and we just don't be noticing it, and it just becoming your subconscious mind. You'd be like, oh well, you know, light skinned women are just always what I, you know, it's what I had. So you know,
that's why I say that about the AKAs, because that was a predominant stereotype. It's a whole bunch of light skinned girls running around.
It still is, boy.
They're letting them all in.
I'm saying that's the only members I've seen of them are the.
Like, I've seen some dark skinned ones, but like majority of them do tend to be lighter skinned. Mm-hmm. That's just more up to the fraternity themselves. But
I was gonna say the sorority as it is, I'm sure they've got a whole list of things they look for that we're not.
Yeah, you gotta make sure to notice just in society where that comes from, and when you see it, and even when you don't realize it's there, like you got to be noticing this kind of stuff sometimes. I'm just of the mindset. A
lot of people don't realize it though.
And then that's the thing about it. Even if you don't see it, you can't let that be in your mind. Just be like, okay, lighter skin equals more attraction because. Okay, not talking about women, but like there are.
When you add preference into it, it crosses a line because we can't tell people they can't have preferences. You can have your preferences, but you just can't.
Be biased in
it. Yeah, you just can't be. But see, I mean that's a hard thing to say. That's one of those things I feel like it runs a big line. It's a big fence to sit on in society as a whole. You don't want to tell people, oh, don't discriminate, but to a certain degree, it's hard to disentangle, preference
versus discrimination.
Yeah, preference versus discrimination. I mean, it's a fine line.
Or for that, all I would just say is like you have to examine your reason for why you would think that. Like if you just be like, okay, if you just say like, okay, I prefer not to date black women.
A lot of introspection though.
And that's something that we all do because a lot of people nowadays do not take accountability for their own actions or their own thoughts, and that's a whole nother issue. But like, if you just examine them, like, okay, I don't like dating, you know, darker skinned women because I tend not to be attracted to them most of the time. Then that's a preference, but you're not outright just saying I don't, or just like I prefer not to. Like, that's more of a preference versus being like,
you'll be attacked for that.
Yeah, but like those people who don't understand the difference between a preference and a discrimination. If somebody was like, I don't date black women because they're all ghetto, they all are trashy, whatever, they all just be sleeping around. If somebody said that can be taken as colorism, whatever, because you're just saying something
like that's blatant discrimination.
You have to examine the reasoning for it. And if somebody's just going to attack you for your preference, if it's legitimately a preference, like perfect example, if I just said I don't like chicken. Then they'll be like, why you don't like chicken? I just don't like chicken. I don't like the taste of it or whatever it be. I get attacked for that because most people be like, man, you black. How do you don't like chicken? But that's a preference.
Yeah, but it's different getting attacked for a food preference over a love preference, though.
But they're both preferences.
They are. At the core,
they're both preferences. So if you're going to attack me for one and not the other, then you have to examine your reasoning for it. That's why I say people have to be accountable for the things they think and they say.
Because I've been attacked by two races for the same thing.
Just like if I was gonna be video game preferences, I would like PlayStation versus I don't really like Xboxes that much. I get attacked for that too. Even though people be like, well, why would you like it? It's like, oh, simple, because the way the controller feels in my hand is awkward when I have an Xbox in my hand. That's a legitimate reason, but I'll still get attacked for that.
He's got little hands.
That's hard to explain why you don't like darker black women.
Hey, can I ask a question?
That's why I've always been a fan of tagging everybody. I ain't never race discriminated.
Like, I'm not really. I don't care about the woman. A woman is a woman. She look good. She look good. But there are people in the world that I'm not gonna knock for them if they legitimately have just a regular preference of I tend not to be attracted to darker skinned women. Just like it'll be people
I
in
mean,
the
that
world.
is what it is.
Yeah, because just like it's
But
gonna be
that
people
ain't
in the
gonna
world
fly
that's
in
gonna say the same
society
thing of,
today, though.
like if there's people in the world that say I don't, and there are people like I don't really like dating taller women. It will be the same thing
I
because
love taller women. Let's go.
like there are people that have that preference about something that the girl themselves can't necessarily control, but they're not being against it. They're just saying I don't really like women just taller than me for
College, I'm the
XYZ
tree
reason.
climber.
Oh, I'll climb.
Like-
I climb a tree.
Oh yeah, we all. Mom said the same thing. Yeah, he said a nice quote for that. He was like, "Man, we all the same
True.
size when we lay down, so I don't really give a squat."
I remember.
And that's why I'm on the hunt for a
Cambridge,
lady
you
of the
love her?
smaller persuasion. Shout out to all the vertically challenged women out there. I'm trying to tag you. I didn't say any of it. I don't know whether they like being called dwarfs or not.
But see, that's the thing about like you gotta search your reasoning for why you think the way that you do in a lot of stuff, and that way you don't cross the line between preference, discrimination, colorism. Do not cross the line. So examine why you think the way that you do, because people will be out here not realizing that they may be like slightly colorist or anything without even realizing it.
What about when people say every time you mention why you like light skin, you just start. I've actually seen a dude do this. You just start naming like people you see on TV, and I'm like,
dang.
That might be an issue, dog, because I feel like you've been conditioned now.
Exactly. It's just like,
I mean, in a way, we all have though.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta notice what you're taking in and stuff, man. A lot of times, you'll see in commercials, you'll see around it's a lot of times it's a lot of lighter skinned women that they just tend to target or something like that. You gotta look at it. It ain't all the time you see, I love them both and ain't nothing wrong with that. But just saying, a lot of times you see women like Venus or Serena Williams in commercials a lot of the time, other than Super Bowl commercial recently. But just perfect example, you tend to see a lot of lighter skinned ones in there. That's just, you have to notice the media that you're taking in and not take that as the standard. It's just what the media wants, not the standard.
I just want y'all to know that I ain't met a Yellow Ranger I didn't like.
Let's go.
I enjoyed Aisha, and I enjoyed Trini.
Facts.
Quiet as kept. I liked Octavia first out of Destiny's Child. It wasn't Beyonce. It's just your preference, man. It's just your preference. You know what I'm saying? So what? We liked Amy. We liked Amy as the Pink Ranger, and then just things change, man. But I just think that you got to point what you're shown. It does have a lot to do with it, but man, we love Halle Berry. She's not light skinned.
Facts.
I mean, Halle Berry ain't really dark skinned either, though. She's like caramel.
So we like her. We like her though.
I ain't gonna lie, being brown, you kind of get away from both sides.
Do y'all know
I don't get called getting duck lips. Like we ain't getting called for doing duck lips. That's the light skin thing. I will still hit Twan with the duck lip pictures thing. I don't care. That's my boy. But
do you know Roxy Reynolds?
Yes.
She's very dark. Well, kind of dark. She's darker than me. And it's all get out.
I got one for you. Like
who you got?
Lupita Nyong'o, who the girlfriend of Black Panther.
She's
beautiful dark skinned woman.
She's fine. She's fine.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
She's fine. Absolutely.
That's almost Keisha from Belly levels.
Keisha from Belly is the standard.
She is at the top of Mount Melanin.
How do you want it? How do you need it?
I was about to say, see her get out the bathtub. God dang. Man, I'm about to watch Belly after this. That's what.
Yeah.
You about to bring that VCR.
I gotta go to Belly immediately.
Yeah.
Belly should be on Amazon Prime, right?
I'm gonna have to go out to the storage unit and look for my VHS collection.
I think she was like my first darker skinned woman crush that I can remember was Kelly Rowland. Good God.
Is she that dark skinned though?
I mean, she's darker.
I feel like she falls into that mid range too.
I don't know about that one.
Let me put y'all. We putting people on dark skinned women. I'm down for this. Ryan Destiny. Let's put it on there. Justine Sky. Let's go. SZA.
Y'all want me to hit the hub list real quick, and I can just go down.
I don't know about that.
Go down the ebony category.
Go to dark skin scissoring.
What?
Oh my God!
Listen, I'm here for JoJo's. Like, let me tell y'all how to slum it on the dark web.
If you really want to narrow it down,
Hey, let's go find somebody's uncle's old DVD collection. You want to talk about the really crazy dark-skinned girls?
Casting Cap Confession inbound.
I was about to say, coming in hot.
By the way, have you noticed that colorism has affected the way certain people act around y'all? I just want to like ask a few quick. Have anyone, Joe?
Oh yeah.
Like whether light skin, like I said, Twan still duck lips forever. for 12 years, Twan I'm expecting Twan to do duck lips with the squint eyes on every picture.
See, I ain't never done one of it,
man. Let my man make it, man.
I don't even think Twan did it. That's why it's so fun to say it, because all my cousins that's light skinned literally did that, except Twan was like one of the first people I knew that light skinned that didn't do it. So I'm always put that on him regardless. Like, I don't think Twan ever did, but he gonna forever be that. Joe, you look like a duck lip type of dude.
Joe's definitely hit a duck lip before. There we go.
Squint, with the squint.
There you go. Sassy looking.
I'm Jalen Ramsey to the T.
Joe, I'm going to your Facebook right now and go see how many.
I thought you were gonna say you were Jaden Smith. I was like, dang, where your Batman suit at?
Oh my God. Jaden Smith would do duck lips for the life of him. He does
Joe,
not.
I'm going through your Facebook and I'm gonna see if you're doing duck lip.
Hell,
matter of fact, if you do, I'm putting that's gonna be on the cover. Joe
with duck lips on the thumbnail on the Colorism episode.
Every time she's like, I'm about to be on Twitch, Drea, flight reacts girl. She does that every time, and she just
you do the squint too, the duck lip with the squint.
It depends. It depends on if I'm.
They be looking crazy.
Damn, they got.
It's either that or they hit the prison pose. I see so many people. You either hit the prison pose or you looking at the camera sassy.
Is Tekken PlayStation 4?
I be taking crazy pictures.
Do you have Tekken on PlayStation 4?
I don't think I have Tekken on PlayStation 4.
Okay. And officially, this man cave is taking a turn.
No, hold on. No, I just wanted to know if Tekken is
taking a turn.
Because I was like, damn, I kind of want to play that on Twitch.
Joe ADD is kicking in randomly. In the middle of a conversation about him talking about Douglas, he just randomly started talking about Tekken.
That's why I take my Adderall before the podcast.
Focus, so Joseph. Have you had someone that you have seen that has been affected by duck lips or being called dark skin?
Me and Flight Reacts, and there ain't no black people on Tekken.
I don't consider them dark skinned.
Joe keep putting brown people in dark skin category.
No, but he does even bring up
black.
He does bring up a point that I actually didn't think about before. Like, even the representation of like black people in video games isn't that strong. And a lot of times you see them, they may be light skinned. He's not lying.
Unless it's Bear. Like Shout out to Bear from Final Fantasy 7.
Even the Africans, bro. Even the African dudes be light skinned in the game. I'm like,
maybe Grand Theft Auto's like the most recent one I can think of. Other than that, like,
this dude Jamaican with dreads and he light skinned. I'm like, I ain't never seen this.
Oh yeah, almost every video game character now has to have dreadlocks if they're black. It's almost to the point where they have to.
Just so everyone knows that they're black.
That's how you distinguish.
That they're black.
Yeah, if there ain't no dreadlock, hey,
you gotta have waves.
I mean, it do be some stereotypes in there. It's not all right. They do be stereotypes.
Or look, either that or you gotta have the drip. Look, what color is Piccolo?
Wow.
We all
know that he is an honorary.
By the way, if y'all want to really get into it, Japanese anime be so racist.
Oh, the big.
Oh,
we're gonna act like Mr. Popo ain't supposed to be a black dude, and we gonna act like we don't know that. Let's pretend like we don't know he got big giant lips and he's real dark with big eyes. And
remember
we don't know
dude from the Red Ribbon Army, the black guy in that one?
Oh,
he was black.
Oh, he did have big lips. Wow.
He was
I'm telling y'all this, man, people, and the sad thing about that is we saying that about we do it too, and that's crazy.
The best representation that I've seen of a black person is that little black girl that's on Hunter x Hunter that was behind that gate.
Oh. But she was still a servant. She was the butler. She was the help.
She was also the help, but I'm talking about from an appearance standpoint.
Yeah, that's
okay. I was about to say, because from where she was literally, she was like, I gotta do this, or they're gonna kill me.
That's fair. She wasn't a subservient role, But
to the whitest family in the who is whiter than the Zoldycks in Hunter x Hunter?
And you know the unfortunate part about that though, he was still there with like big pigtails and big lips.
they maybe overemphasized her hair a little bit.
And the lips.
But the Japanese don't see black people all like that, so they always make us look wild.
They make us all look like pretend like we 75 cent out here.
I was gonna say
Wow.
everybody is a SoundCloud rapper in Japan.
It's just we just talk. It's true. We can help it sometimes, but it's true. Like the dark, your light.
Please don't come for us, any Japanese companies.
They know what they doing. They can't deny it. We got evidence.
Make more.
Oh
black
yeah.
people.
The only black person in Dragon Ball Z.
You can literally get on internet and look at the black experience in Japan. Bro. It is a bleak one.
Toward everything about Mr. Popo, everybody know Mr. Popo is a human, dog. He ain't like this guy.
No,
Mr. Popo is not bro. What planet he from? They ain't never explained nothing. He just from Earth. He wear a turban.
Popo don't get
Indians live at the bottom of his tower. Oh my God, you're right.
You don't ask questions about Popo.
Mr. Popo is not an alien.
Did his training and
Mr. Popo ain't never lost a fight.
That's a fact, though. Undefeated.
Now he's not human, but they don't really just explain where he comes from.
They don't even say he's not human. They just don't.
You know Mr. Popo isn't human. He got pointy ears. You know he's not human.
You think they?
I think that's a stereotypical black person.
I mean, no, he could be He could be based off of a stereotype. He's just not human. But I mean, a Judy dude with huh?
Where you come from? Everybody else in the whole
they don't really explain that much in Dragon Ball, bro.
I guess they haven't explained
Dragon Ball Z.
Bro, they just say he helps Kami. They don't explain where he comes from. That's pretty much
but then they explain where Kami came from.
But we know where Kami comes from.
They exactly, but we didn't back
then.
They just like, oh, this is just Mr. Popo.
This is Mr. Popo. He's got some water.
We watched
just Mr. Popo.
It went
Mr.
from
Popo
demons
was always
to
fast
aliens.
too. He was faster than everybody.
Yeah, it's just Mr. Popo.
Yeah, Mr. Popo was a beast.
He a black genie. That's pretty much what he is. A black genie with pointy ears, big lips, and eyes.
I mean,
and a turban.
Well, he don't grant wishes.
We're past 2 minutes.
So he's evil Nick Cannon.
Wow, not in
Mr. Popo's evil Nick Cannon. We're
not in next.
I will cancel Dragon Ball Super if Mr. Popo come out with a lot of kids.
I hope he does. If we just see a bunch of little Popos around.
We're going there with it. We getting all the way black with it.
Here for Give me the next
I will cancel this show.
More of the manga.
I am not for this. He is not a young boy. You're not doing this.
What about this color?
Hey, they got to put respect on NBA Youngboy's name. He's doing more numbers than most of our favorite rappers have done in the past. I don't know how many years. It's kind of crazy.
You know, Apu from Simpsons, he's got mad kids on that show. The guy that wears Quickie Mart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apu.
But he Indian though, so he kind
of. Well, they got rid of him. They got rid of Apu. Yeah. He's not even in the He's not even in the Simpsons anymore. They're actually Akash Singh. Akash Singh just did he just did a comedy special, a little 20-minute comedy special called Bring Apu Back. Yeah. It's actually really good.
But we bring these things up because I wanted to bring all these things up. I know it sounds like it was off, but I want to explain you how other cultures see, because they don't get to see the African American experience. They don't get to see, they don't meet Monte, they don't meet Joe, they don't meet everybody. They just know what they see. Even from African countries, even from other countries, they perceive you this way because this is how you are portrayed. They only see the rapper. They only see the image of what people want you to see. They only see the light-skinned woman as desirable. They often see the dark-skinned woman. Even if they like dark-skinned women, they're like, oh, America hate dark-skinned women. We don't like them. I've actually seen that from an African person, by the way.
That's true.
Like, oh, y'all don't mess with darker skinned people, so we don't mess with y'all too. So it's like it becomes like more of a cultural thing, because they see it, but they embrace in their culture, but they see your culture as this, and they see it as a negative, and people don't understand it. And a lot of it just put out. Some of it's on purpose to, again, like I told Joe, they don't love us like that. But And I've been portrayed to portray as a certain thing and certain narratives that
Jamaica.
people. Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people even from that look like us that's basically African American. They just not African United States.
They're just not African American.
Yeah, you from your Dominicans and all that stuff, and then you have like, if anybody know the Dominican Haitian all that relationship over there and all that going off is we not y'all because y'all are lesser people image based. That's based on pure colorism.
Well, that's also based off of their culture. You got to think those island nations right there were literally just slavery hubs for the longest time.
Yeah, so they based on that, and then we're better than you, and all this information. You can look it up. It's a lot of information on Google. We might get an episode in the future.
Don't fall down
I might
the
do it myself.
Rabbit hole.
It's
easy to do.
I might do it.
Haitian or Puerto Rican experience.
Like I said, I might do an episode by myself on just explaining all that other stuff. But I just want to have a conversation with the guys on Man Cave. It's Black History Month. We want to talk about issues that affect Black men. This usually men talk, but it's Black History Month. Let's talk about Black stuff. Let's talk about ours. Let's handle ours. You know what I mean?
What's next week?
Just a little bit.
Y'all are supposed to decide that, so I will let y'all know sometime during the week on YouTube what we talking about next week. But yeah, colorism is a problem. And
let's talk about colorism in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Dang.
There's like, is all New York Italian at this point? Is that what's going on?
That's how they made it feel.
It's like, what makes San Andreas? That'll make up for it. And in Miami, woo.
Yeah.
God,
dang. Shout out to Rockstar for knowing how to really market.
We still bought it. What is it? What is it? Mobsters? Like that was the first like gang you got to be with. Like, let's get with some Italian mobsters, and then Vice City. Man, yeah, there's not enough Black characters in fighting games except for Def Jam Fight for New York, and
so underrated. If Def Jam wasn't such a horrible.
I got Def Jam.
Shaq Fu maybe.
Who's all the dark skin people?
Remember the Wu-Tang game? The Wu-Tang game for PlayStation.
Yeah, who's all the dark skin characters in that game?
Wu-Tang.
I used to have the Wu-Tang controller,
Let's see. The main dude who was Joe Balls. I mean, they had a bunch of people. It depends on what you consider like dark skin or like regular skin tone. But it depends on which one.
All the people I thought it was
kind of. There are some fighting games that have Black people. Because like if you look at Fatal Fury, Street Fighter, even. I mean, we only had Balrog for the longest.
Yeah, then they added Dawson and.
Yeah, but Dawson's Indian. He's not Black.
Dudley is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talking about Black representation all over the world. And by the way, I know we talked about this yesterday on the show, but I want to actually give a shout out to Bel Air for actually putting a bunch of dark skinned women and dark skinned people and showcasing them on TV.
They did.
Even though you're gonna listen to Mars show, but I appreciate it. Show more dark skinned people because they are represented in this country too, and they are not just the random drug dealer.
There's too much Black representation on Maury though.
Yeah,
it's like
I don't know.
It's like way too much. Like
it is crazy.
There's a reason for that.
Exactly, the reason. Monte, we finna get out of here. Quick show. Monte, your thoughts. And plug. Final thoughts and plug.
You try to be
today's final thoughts. Remember to question your own reasoning for why you think the way that you do, especially when it comes to other people, and especially if you are considering their skin tones for anything. Please do. Otherwise, as Jerry Springer says, remember to love everything and each other, or whatever he said. Also, you can catch your boy on Broke Ugly Dudes podcast on YouTube. Also a part of the Blur Cartel on YouTube as well, and on Facebook. And if you want to catch me personally, I am on TikTok and on Instagram under Munray Hudson. Linktree is in the description below. Finally, buy the merch.
Get that merch. Merch link in bio. Like and subscribe. Joseph.
As you can see, it's very multifaceted skin colors in my background. So
Mad multicultural, son.
Again, we have Sands, who have been marginalized by Frieza's race.
I give up.
Tori!
For a long while.
Tori,
The Rocket.
You already know your local neighborhood scumbag. Afro Commie 765 on everything. Let people be people.
Irish.
and it's me, your boy.
Frieza did nothing wrong.
Frieza did a lot wrong. But Black Queens, I want you to know we love you. We appreciate you. I want to make sure you feel that love in this episode. I want to make sure you feel love. You are amazing. You are beautiful. You are a queen.
Yes.
Light skin girls, y'all queens too. All y'all queens, because you.
Let's go.
You are family. You are blood. You are mothers, or aunties, or daughters, or cousins, or sisters. And of course, you are amazing. And we out. We love you. Peace. Hope y'all learned a little something. Look it up.
Free Frieza.